flip the tables. If this was 1,000 women waiting on one guy, number one, I don't know if that would happen. Unless it was Aaron Pierre White. No, I'm joking. I don't think that that would happen. But also, how would these women be judged? Because I'm sure they'll be judged over the guy. It'll be, oh, yeah, he put flyers out there, but how can these girls actually go and do it? Hi friends, welcome back to the Social Reality Show with me, Edlyn France, the Reality Check Coach. So today I want to talk about Bonnie Blue. And if you don't know who Bonnie Blue is, then you've either been living under a rock or you have the correct mindset in just avoiding mainstream media and mainstream news. And maybe I need to join you, okay? Because I am scarred for life. Okay, so if you don't know who Bonnie Blue is, let me tell you a little bit about her. Bonnie Blue is a 25-year-old woman. She is British, and she is in the adult entertainment industry. Now, she actually started in recruitment, funnily enough, and she went into the adult entertainment industry, being the most prominent on OnlyFans. Bonnie has been gaining a lot of media attention recently because she has been setting herself challenges of sleeping with a certain amount of men within a day. And just a couple of days ago, she has confirmed that she has slept with 1,057 men in just 12 hours. Yes, you heard me correctly, 12 hours. It's as painful for me to say it as it must have been for her to experience it, because I know that wasn't enjoyable. 12 hours. 1 hour is not, 1 hour is enough. 12 hours cannot be enjoyable. Okay, well, let's just dissect this a little bit, because I really want to talk about her and this and what it means to society today. First and foremost, you're probably wondering, does she not have family and friends? Well, you'd be very interested to know that her family actually condone what she's doing, and I think they actually physically support her. I've also seen an article that indicates that her family actually edit some of the content, like they're part of her content creation. Yes, I'm not lying here, okay? We're gonna say alleged. We're going to say allegedly just for the purposes of this video, but this is articles and other research. But like I said, it's allegedly. But her family are helping with content creation. I did mention she's on OnlyFans, right? What content are they creating for her? That really sets the tone and the discussion for how close is too close as a family, because what? It also raises the questions of family expectations, because if they are part of her business, are they also benefiting from this? Because sleeping with 1,057 men is clout chasing if I've ever seen it. But there's also some sort of financial element to it. There has to be, because there has to be. Otherwise, I really don't know what you're even doing. I still don't know what you're doing, but I'm even more so. But I'm just wondering, is there some sort of family expectations? Because if they work for you, they work with you, is this solely her doing? Or has she been influenced? I really want to discuss. So earlier this month, she set a challenge that she wanted to sleep with 1,000 men. Recently, she has come out and she said she's done it. She surpassed 1,057 men, confirmed. That is what she has stated. Now that beats the world record that was already in place, which was completed back in 2004, which was 919 men. Yes. I want to say, I don't really remember hearing about this, but I was 14, so I'm glad I didn't hear about this. I'm glad that social media wasn't what it is today, because my innocent ears and eyes were not disturbed by this person that did it with 919 men. And I am really worried about the youth today because of how many people have access to the internet, have access to social media. The way that this is widespread news, it's very worrying on how the young, youthful, impressionable ages are taking this kind of information. What do they think? Do they think this is normal? Do they think that this is okay? That's a question that I often think about. And is it okay? Is there some sort of liberation in this, or is it complete violation? Let's delve into this. Of course, this act has sparked outrage, fascination, and heated debates all across social media. I mean, it does reflect society's obsession with extreme acts, but of course, that's not new. We've always been obsessed with, extreme acts and shocking things. That's why clickbait is a thing. Like, we love to be like, oh, what's this? let's click on it. And then, we're highly disappointed most of the time, but we love to be shocked and slightly disturbed. That's the human nature of us. We are so intrigued. As long as we're not involved, we want to know about it. But I think it also shows that there's such a huge cultural impact when it comes to sexuality, because if we look at OnlyFans, which is where Bonnie Blue has really gained her prominence, you can see that the adult industry is in the billions. Platforms like OnlyFans have really normalized explicit content and has changed the public's perception when it comes to sexuality. Let's not forget that the adult industry generated $97 billion globally in 2023 alone. The adult industry are in the big leagues, and there clearly is a huge consumer base. We may look down on people like Bonnie Blue, but there is clearly a big market for this. Yes, she may be doing it for clout, but at the same time, there are clout watchers that want to watch it. They want to, and they will happily pay for it. Does that make it okay? Now let's think about this. Why would someone do this? There's so many reasons, and this is why I want to tread really carefully. Yes, I'm talking about liberation versus violation because it's a clear question that needs to be asked here. But why would someone do this? What would be the reason for someone to be able to put themselves through this? Because this is a grueling task. You have to understand, 12 hours with 1,057 strangers being inside you. Our bodies are temple. And no matter how sexually free you are, we all have this bubble around us that we feel, a certain way about so many bodies and so many energies infiltrating, period. And that, I'm not even talking about sexually, just even when someone's too close to you. No matter how sexually free, sexually liberated you are, sexual empowerment, all of these words, no matter how much you feel this, there's no way you can go through 1,057 men without feeling some sort of impact. So why would you do it? Is it for validation? Has something happened in her past that she feels that she needs that validation? She needs men to be queuing up, literal queues, waiting for her? Does that give her some sort of feeling that she's special, that she's being sought after? Is it for clout? Does she just want the fame? Is it for money? Like I said earlier, her family work with her. Does she feel a level of expectation, financial wise? I mean, we do live in a time where creatives are always pushing the boat out. We're always kind of looking for the next thing. We are in the future, quote unquote. So things are getting repetitive and people do want to push the boat out and explore more and find the new thing, the new it. What is the reason? I really wonder. Studies suggest that adult entertainers face higher rates of depression, anxiety, often linked to societal judgment and the pressures of their work. Of course, we as the public are putting a level of judgment onto adult entertainers, but specifically someone like Bonnie Blue, who is now in the public eye, who is on mainstream media, mainstream blog sites. Obviously, we're going to put judgment. You look at the comment sections, you can see people going in on her. That's unfortunately the life that they've chosen. But also from the pressures of their work, that's where the stresses and the depression is coming from, because it's not easy. To put your body through that is not easy, which is why I pose that question. Why would someone choose this life? Why would someone choose this? There's one thing being an adult entertainer, and there's another thing putting yourself through 1,057 men in just 12 hours. Look, critics already don't really necessarily believe that this is definitely plausible. It's kind of like how, time constraints, physically as well. It's tiring. It's a lot on your body. So, there's still a bit of debate whether or not this has definitely happened. But if we go by her word, it's a lot. So the 1,057 men, who are they? Who are you? The men in line. You've got to measure. You can imagine this: a queue of men, just a bunch of 1,000+ men in a queue waiting to get inside one girl. Imagine the conversations they're having with each other. Yeah, how long do you think you're going to last? Oh yeah, I think that. Like, what are they talking about? And imagine you're number 800 and you know there's 800 in front of you. What makes you feel good about that? Knowing that you're about to be the 800th thing that's going to go inside her. How does that bring joy? Look, I understand the reasons why men might want to do this. Curiosity, validation, excitement, thrill. I understand that those are the reasons. But is that enough to encourage this sort of behavior? Is that enough to be the 800th guy, knowing that you're just about to put yourself into something that's just had 800 men in. Let's flip the tables. If this was 1,000 women waiting on one guy, number one, I don't know if that would happen unless it was Aaron Pierre White. No, I'm joking. I don't think that would happen. But also, how would these women be judged? Because I'm sure they'll be judged over the guy. It'll be, oh, yeah, he put flyers out there, but how can these girls actually go and do it? I'm sure that's what would happen. And let's just think about the energy, the soul ties. Look, soul ties are real. If you haven't watch my episode about breaking free from soul ties, okay? Because look, it's 2025. We need to break free of those soul ties. And Bonnie Blue, if you're watching, girl, you need to watch it. I can't lie, because soul ties are real. They really are. Engaging with so many partners can have a long-lasting emotional effect. You're carrying these energies around with you. It's not just a saying, like, this is real. We live in a spiritual field. So you can imagine 1,057 just in one day. That's not to add to the rest of the list because you're already an adult entertainer. But 1,057. Imagine the soul ties and the energies that are attached to you. This will contribute to even further mental health issues like depression, etc. I don't wish these for her, but I know that this can really impact you mentally. Now, we're here for one thing, liberation or violation. That is a great debate. Look, some people are admiring her bravery, her empowerment. She's pushing the boat, she's bold, she's owning her sexuality. But others are also criticizing her, saying that she's degrading herself. You know, when you look at the comment sections of posts about this, a lot of people are saying things like Christ is coming, the world is done for, you know, God is on his way, come and rescue us and stuff like that. And look, I might be chuckling, but there is an element of truth. I am a Christian, and when you look at the world right now, there are many elements that make you think, okay, it's about to be a wrap. Okay, it's about to be over. There's so many things happening, and I'm not saying that things like this didn't happen in the past, in history. I'm just saying that it's becoming more frequent, and obviously with social media, it's more prominent, it's more in your face, and it's influencing the young. No matter what you think, it's influencing the young. She does still have support, but I think the majority of opinions is that it's creating a discomfort, especially because it's such an extreme sexual act. Some of the comments I've seen is, why would someone do this? Soul ties of 1,057. HPV virus that leads to physical damage. I want to say there was some sort of sexual check, some sort of procedure. However, there are a lot of other issues. Can someone say pH imbalance? And like this person said, HPV. There's so many physical as well as psychological, mental damage that this can do. So is it liberating when it can cause so much damage? So with such a discussion like this, especially when it comes to women empowerment, I think it's really important to see what the feminists think about this, okay? And I'm not a feminist myself because I feel that feminism has gone in a direction that I don't necessarily agree with. We could talk about that later. When it comes to feminists, there is a divided line. Some see this as sexual empowerment, while others see this as perpetuating the patriarchal societal norms, which goes against everything that feminism stands for. So how can this be liberating? Okay, let's just weigh out. Let's weigh it up, okay? Liberation points. Let me give you 2 liberation points and I'll give you 2 violation points, and let's come to a conclusion together, okay? Okay, so liberation point number 1. Bonnie's action defies societal judgment, showing that women can make unconventional choices. Look, women's decision making has always been up for discussion. Look, it wasn't that long in history where women were allowed to vote. When it comes to old school relationships, a lot of women didn't have a lot of say in it. Like, there's so many areas in history and in present day where women's opinions and choices are very heavily policed. Even in modern day, we have men still debating on podcasts whether we should be wearing wigs, eyelashes, makeup, etc. It seems like there's always a debate on our choices. So I understand that there is a liberating factor in terms of her making a choice for herself. My body, my choice. which I'm sure you've heard of before. So in that sense, it can be quite liberating. The second point is that she's leveraging her sexuality on her own terms and she's financially benefiting from it. I said this in the See China episode, you can watch it over here, where I discussed whether she was empowering or harmful to women. And I stated in there that a lot of women do use their sexual energy and their sexual powers as manipulation in relationships and probably get nothing from it. So is she using this and as a financial gain? Is she being the smart one? Is she being the one who's more liberating? Like, okay, you women use your sexual powers and stuff for mere boyfriends and mere situations that doesn't even give you any sort of satisfaction or financial gain. I'm going to use mine for financial gain. Is that liberation? It could be argued as such. But the thing to remember with these 2 points of liberation is that there are other ways to liberate yourself as a woman than to sleep with 1,057 men just to prove these 2 points. Now let's look at 2 points that show that this is not liberation and in fact violation. Number 1, the act actually commodifies her body, reducing her identity to more so like a product just for shock value. That's an issue. It's dehumanizing her. It's like she's a thing. I can imagine that queue of men going in and out, pun intended. It dehumanizes her. She's not of value anymore. And I always say this to my women, that you are so valuable. Treat yourself as such. You mean so much. Don't degrade yourself or lower yourself for anyone. And this highlights one of the violation points, that she commodifies herself and she's no longer this young, beautiful 25-year-old woman, and she's now an object for men to play with. And that is quite disheartening. Number 2, it perpetuates the harmful stereotype that women need extreme acts for validation and attention. As the years are progressing, it does appear that women are constantly scrutinized for doing things for clout. They're constantly scrutinized that everything they do is for attention of men, whether that's getting a BBL, doing makeup, whatever it is, doing anything is always for men. There's always that discussion of, oh, I put on makeup for myself. And then there's the debate of, oh, but if there was no men walking around, would you still put on makeup? Yeah, I would. It kind of heightens that harmful stereotype that women would do anything for attention, and attention of men specifically. And that's not the case in most senses. And it's unfortunate that that is a debate, but situations like this can definitely perpetuate the fact. I did say I was going to do 2 for liberation and 2 for violation, but to be honest, I need to add 1 more on the violation. The impact on young women, the impact on young girls. There's so much over-sexualization on the internet, on TV, everywhere you go, there's over-sexualization. And it's not to say that back when I was younger, there wasn't sexualization all over the TV screens, because there was, but now it is over sexualization. It is to a point where it's like, it's too much. It's everywhere you look. With music artists, it's on adverts, it's on social media, influence, everything influences you. And that is a saddening message. It's a message that teaches young girls to use their sexual powers to get ahead. And it's unfortunate, because that power, as I've said in previous episodes, that sexual energy, that sexuality is power, and that power can fuel your ambitions, give you that drive to get to your goals, can fuel so many things in life, can be put towards a loving relationship. It's really challenging young women, young girls' self-worth, self-validation, self-love. You don't need to give up your sexuality to have that. True empowerment is not through acts of public validation. It's about valuing your body. Women should reclaim their power by embracing their value and by sharing intimacy with people who actually value them and love them. So if you're watching this, don't be influenced by extreme acts like this. This is not normal. This is entertainment, unfortunately. And you need to understand that empowerment comes from self-love and self-value, and value yourself highly. Not everyone should be able to come in and out of you like that. You're special, you're valuable. Understand that. That is what is empowering. I really hope you like this episode of the Social Reality Show, and I would love for you to comment below. Let me know, what do you think about this? Do you think that this is liberating? Honestly, do you agree that it is liberation? Or do you feel that it's violation and that it's sending out a bad message? I know that I completely don't condone it. I think it's ridiculous, to be honest. And I think it's sad that our society has come to this, but this is the world we live in. But let's discuss, and let's be respectful in the comments. This is a young woman, but let's discuss. What do you think about this? And how do we change the narrative as women? As usual, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and let me know what you want me to discuss next. Until next time, bye friends.